I can hear it.
I just muted it.
Okay.
It's a commercial.
You just muted it. All right. Are we live?
Dave, something wrong with your video quality? Seems a little downgraded.
My video quality's downgraded? Oh, it might
Yeah.
be. Maybe my internet's not being great. But I think we're live. Oh, we got a viewer, so I think we're live. Okay, so welcome tonight, everybody. It is Thursday, September 17th, 2020, and we are covering Week 6 here of Big Brother 22 All-Stars as we continue this journey in the most entertaining season of them all, perhaps. I'm Dave Mader, joined with my brother Jeff Mader and co-host Jaemeel Robinson here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting. Jaemeel, how are you doing?
Your statement only rings true depending on who wins HOH.
I know. I might be embellishing a bit. And Jeff, how are you?
I don't have high hopes for one of the good guys winning this HOH.
There was a cliffhanger here, and so we are going to cover the episode here as it played out tonight, and then we expect that we will find out at some point, we hope, who the winner of this HOH is, and we will talk about that and what that might mean for Week 7. But just let's talk about how Week 6 played out here. We saw Ian evicted in a 5-3 vote. He was played. He had respect. He had mad respect for all the people who voted him out. He was very pleased with this committee, and they had a plan, and they got him out. So is that a happy ending, Jeff?
No. Nicole that sucks lived up to her name tonight. She had the opportunity to put Danny's feet to the fire, and she didn't do it, and both of them should be ashamed of themselves. They have zero chance of winning this game, I think. It's like Spencer Bledsoe said in Survivor Kegayon. God, 0% chance of winning. Whatever he said.
Right.
That's how I feel. Honestly, the boys are just going to destroy them now. Like,
Jaemeel, do you feel that we were sold a false bill of goods, perhaps, by Nicole Frenzel tonight in the diary room sessions? That her mad campaigning.
She spun a fraudulent one. Folks, at no point did she actually care if Ian was going home or not. She hated the optics of it. And when I use the term optics, I mean it totally in terms of like a cold business sense, because the moment that she was told by the DR about what she was being pinned for as part of the group that was making fun of Ian, she's just been tears, just fake tears, right? And now she didn't want to see Ian gone, especially without her being presented in a positive, the chance to kind of reshape your image, right? It was just a false tale that she presented, right? If she really wanted Ian to be there, she would have voted for him. She didn't, so she didn't.
We may have just gone live on Facebook. It's unclear if I know we were on YouTube. We are definitely on both right now. So in case you're just joining us, welcome tonight, everybody. It is September 17th, 2020, and we are covering this Week 6 eviction as Ian was taken out in a 5-3 vote under Danny's HOH as the committee enacted their master plan to get out everybody who's not in the committee. And some interesting stuff here. So we covered here that, Nicole Frenzel, I think, definitely selling us a PR tale, a PR spin like no other. She is a master. She would do well under some of the great White House press secretaries, perhaps, just giving us this sort of narrative about how she's annoyed she's losing an ally, which I think is true. Just like, why does she have to give up sort of her ally, which Enzo is a good comparison point to Cody's game. And we see that these sessions happened where she was trying to convince Cody to come along, but he doesn't want to. He's kind of strong-arming Nicole, and she doesn't really have the clout in the alliance, certainly like Cody does. And I think that was kind of really just more of a boo-hoo fit thing than a sadness to lose Ian, as you said, Jaemeel. Jeff, is Nicole right? Do you think she was honest in the fact that she was saying, like, this is the time to take out Tyler? he's a threat. He's a comp threat. Why do we need him
No.
more than
No, I think she was just mad at Cody that Cody had more clout, like you were saying, in the alliance, and she didn't like that. She was like, "Why does my person have to go home, not your person?" It's like Jameel's been saying all season. It's like my adjacent person, and Cody is getting what he wants because he's controlling the game, and Nicole isn't, and Nicole doesn't like this. Nicole wants to be way more in control than she is, and that's what's bothering her ultimately, not the fact that Ian was going home or, it's more the fact that she's not in control of the committee whatsoever. She's probably number 5 or number 6 in the pecking order of the committee. So, like,
maybe 3 or 4, I'd say. I'd say she's maybe more like 3 or 4.
I don't think so, Dave. I mean, really, I don't think Cody's keeping her around. I mean, he proved it tonight. He'd rather have Enzo kept around than her.
Right.
He'd rather have Enzo kept around than Tyler or so he's not even in the committee. So like it's pretty clear to me that Nicole should be blowing this alliance up, and she's like, both her and Danny suck. I mean, it really comes down to that. They suck at Big Brother this week. They could have done so much, but more. They could have flipped the whole house. They could have. Who they really should have got out here was Memphis. If they had taken Memphis out, that would have really helped their numbers get down the road here, because now there's just a super guy alliance, and the girls like Danny and Nicole are screwed because they're already going to be at odds with Davon. They're not aligning with Davon. And then Christmas is insane. You can't align. Like Christmas thinks the committee.
I would never want to work with her. Or maybe
Right.
I would, but like I would have to blindside her at some point, maybe early. She'd be good for like forming an alliance, but after that I would want to drop her.
At work? I would never want to work with her. Okay.
No, I wouldn't want to work with her.
You and your job looking next to her. We're gonna form an alliance, but I'm gonna get rid of her.
Yeah, she would just be good for like week 1, but then I'd be like, definitely let's get rid of her. Jaemeel, we saw some scenes tonight where Nicole was making her case to the committee members like Memphis and Cody, and Memphis said, if you want to go be in jury house with him so bad, we can arrange that. And then he kind of laughed in her face and walked off. What did that indicate to you? Maybe what Jeff's saying, which is that Nicole is more down the pecking order of this alliance anyway.
Absolutely. Even look, do you think Memphis could say that to Cody? Not a chance. But he felt fully empowered that he can straight up say it to Princess Dougie and walk away without any repercussions.
And laugh.
Right? He straight up laughed at her face about her situation and didn't care. There was no type of like, hey, I'm sorry if that came across. No, Memphis didn't care. Memphis shouldn't care because all points considered, he's higher in the pecking order. He understands exactly where he's at, and he understands that for his game, everything's smooth sailing, right? No one that he's like really closely aligned with is nowhere near the block, so he has nothing to worry about, right? Whereas, of course, Danny would think about putting up Ian because, as we've come to know, in the pecking order, Nicole isn't as important. She isn't.
So then,
Simple as that.
It's hard to argue with the logic that this was strategically bad for Nicole and Danny, that they are so afraid of Tyler and Cody because they're big and tall and muscular. Then they're sort of sabotaging their own game instead of sort of having agency to sort of make a real cutthroat move against Tyler here and take charge.
The move
but they don't.
Be a cutthroat against Tyler. The move is taking the number away from Memphis, Enzo, and Cody, who want to roll this game with the competition beasts. Tyler, I don't really think has he might have a chance to win the game, but he's really not the big threats. The big threats are Cody, Memphis, and Enzo. Those 3 guys are really, really controlling the house, and they never seem to ever even come close to seeing the block. Nobody even says a bad word about them. If we see a Memphis HOH here, guys, this week, which could happen because he was in the lead.
He looked pretty good when they went off the air tonight.
Yeah. Do you think he's just going to do the standard noms where he's going to put up Kevin and Devon? Do you think? Like, I don't think so. Actually, I disagree. I think he's going to turn on the alliance at a certain point. He might not do it this week, but if I were, he might. You're right because he has the numbers with the guys, but he might also go, hey, if it's easier for me to beat Kevin or David in a competition than it is for me to beat Nicole or Danny. So he might want. I would love to see Nicole and Danny hit the block together and eat what they just did this week.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna play it straight because he's gonna have there's bigger fish to fry. So let's say, for example, if Nicole wins, Nicole would be an idiot if she doesn't put up Tyler and Cody. Should be an idiot. She's basically so super expendable that she's practically should have her bags packed the moment that Davon, David, or Kevin are one of them are voted out the house because she's next. Her and Danny, right? So if you're Memphis, you're like, they need to protect themselves, and the way they protect themselves and prolong their time in the house is to take like a actual swing at Cody and Tyler, right? You know where you are in the pecking order, like flip over the apple cart, as they say, right? So if you're Memphis, you can sit back and kind of let them fight each other. You're in the middle, right? The only time Memphis is going to hit the block is if like Cody or Tyler get what's it called again? Veto, and come off the block, right? That's the only way. Only way.
What do you think? What do you think? Do you think they're just going to put standard noms up, like any of those big guys win, or do you think that they could take a swing at the girls?
Who? What do I think, or what does Jaemeel think?
I was asking you. Yes.
Okay. What do I think they'll do? I think if it's Enzo, especially, he'll probably take out somebody he's not so aligned with. I could see him put about Danny and Nicole, right?
He would.
Because why wouldn't he? They would take that. He doesn't know about the committee, right, per se, but if they were removed or one of them was removed, that would make his position stronger.
Right. That would be a good way because anytime Enzo's HOH, that's really a Cody HOH. So that'd be a good way for Cody to get one of those girls out without the blood on his hands. For
sure. It's a great move for Cody and I guess for Enzo. I don't know. I don't see how Enzo wins this game, but at the moment. But
you don't think if Enzo's sitting on the final two with Memphis, you don't think they're going to vote for Enzo over Memphis?
Okay, I think he beats Memphis. I think Enzo beats Memphis, possibly David.
Christmas?
Probably maybe Christmas.
Maybe Christmas? Wow. Look, I know I picked the dude, but like I think if I didn't step foot in the game, I can probably beat Christmas. I can probably get enough votes. Christmas did not endear herself to people, even people she's aligned with. I think kind of like she's kind of sketch.
I think Enzo can beat Kevin in the end.
Definitely Kevin.
I think anybody can beat Kevin. I think even Nicole Franzel could beat Kevin.
Could David beat Kevin?
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Kevin's just like not doing anything. At least David had a power and played it and saved himself. Kevin did win the veto, so they kind of cancel each other out there.
But at least David seems to be trying more and is not as sulky and wounded and
he's got to stop that. Kevin has to stop there's too much of that going on in this season. Nicole's always sad. Kevin's always sad. It's like stop it. Memphis is always being an asshole. It's just nothing changes in this house. It's just they just stick true to like what they're doing in the house, and nothing changes. And I hope the HOH kind of shakes things up.
Come on, Kevin, out of nothing, win HOH.
That'd be great, Kevin. Or I would love to see David get HOH. I think that would be the most interesting. just
my master plan.
Is
he gonna start crying and like what happened? Did you guys throw HOH to me?
Just for that.
Did you throw it to me?
You throw it to me.
While we're waiting for the results of the HOH and all of that, let's talk just a bit about Ian, his departure from this game, his eulogy. What is the funeral of Ian? And who is responsible for this, and is he ultimately responsible for this for himself?
Nicole and Danny are responsible for this. He said it tonight. He's absolutely 100% correct. Jaemeel, if you agree with me, let me know. But he's right to be pissed off at Danny. That made no sense for her game. Literally, when he kind of told her in the HOH room, and told her off, I was like, yeah, you deserve that, Danny. She got all huffy and walked out. Right then and there, Ian should have known he was going home. And he probably did. He's not dumb. He's played this game and he's done it. He's done the exact same thing to other players.
He gave them the business, both Danny and Nicole, about the situation they put him in, and it's like, Ian, I don't know if I can vote for you. It's like, what do you mean you don't think you can vote for me? You vote for me. We're together. We're an alliance. Oh, I don't know. I think it's gonna mess up my game. It's like, Danny and you messed up my game. What are you talking about? We have the votes. Danny is in power. You guys can keep me and we can break the tie. I don't know if Danny's going to do that. Well, I'm going to talk to Danny. And then Danny's like, oh, if it goes to a tie, I want to get Tyler out, but I don't know if you have the votes. And it's like, you're doing the math. And it's like, if everyone's saying what they're supposed to be saying, then there should be 4 votes. It should go to a tie and I should be safe. It's like, so they're straight up lying to me. And they confirmed that they lied to me. So
don't you apologize to me, Jaemeel. Don't you do that.
Jeff, is Ian a good player?
Are you talking about overall or this season?
Just as a general question. Yeah, I guess
overall he's a very good player. Overall, yes.
What happened? Can we blame him that he was not part of this alliance called the committee, or he was not able to read its presence?
Sorry,
he read Memphis as a lone wolf. He called him.
Yeah, he's bad at reading players sometimes. To say, all right, he's not a good player when he's outside of the alliance. Okay, but a lot of players aren't. Okay, name me a lot of players that are great out when they're outside of the alliance. Okay. In Big Brother, it doesn't happen very often.
Well, I just can we blame these people like Davon and Ian and Kevin, who they're starting to kind of figure it out that they're not in this, but they can't figure out who's in it. They can't figure out that Memphis is in it for some reason. It's outside.
I don't get that because how none of them seem to say we talk game with Memphis. So isn't that obvious that he's not with you? So then by
Memphis is not talking to many people, or doesn't Memphis. From what I've read on the feeds, Memphis has a routine, and he gets up in the morning, he has his coffee, and he goes to the backyard, and then he just sits there, and then people come and see him. Anyone can go and see him. He does not move, right? And people come and go, and he stays there, or he stays inside, and he stays in one place. People come and go, and come and see him. So he's never looking like he's hunting people down or in rooms or anything, because he's chilling in the same place. He's literally taking from Dan's playbook, right? So that's why it looks like he's always by himself, because he's usually always by himself until someone comes by him.
Right. So he set up his alliance in the first week, and then he's just coasting.
He's just chilling.
Yeah.
Why he the alliance is a pregame alliance. So he doesn't need the constant confirmation, and he's not the type of person that always needs validation. So you have Nicole, who's frenetic. You have Danny, who's always questioning herself, right? And then you don't see Cody, people talking about Cody and everything, because Cody's cool as a cucumber. He has things set up, right? So you have all the rest of people moving around and everything like that. So that's why everything just seems kind of what's going on. Everyone just seems really relaxed because everyone is.
You know what I think is really frustrating about this season is that the players that coasted the last time they played, like Memphis, like Cody, are getting to coast again. And they never ever seem to play from the position that Kevin and Davon are in. Now, does that make them better players? I guess. I mean, you could say that, but I also they don't actually have to show us how good of a player they are. They're always on the top. It's really easy to play Big Brother when you're on the top, just like Survivor. I mean, it's very easy when you know where the votes are going, what to do. So but when you don't know where the power structures are, and you this alliance is huge, it just doesn't, you don't really seem to be able to figure out who's really leading it. That's a way harder position to play from. Davon has played there all 3 times. They never ever let her in on the power structure whenever she plays, because I just think they look at her as too dangerous. She's too popular and too good in DRs, I think. And then they try to put other players that they look like Kevin and David, that are kind of like wounded puppy dogs in the house, and they always just use them as goats and as pawns.
Just imagine playing like a game of Texas Hold'em with like 5 other people, advantage, and you keep wondering, it's like, why do I keep getting a bad hand? Right? There's nothing you do.
Just want to talk about our draft, our group of 8, because it's time to scratch another one off the board with Ian Terry tonight. And so we have 8 people in our draft, the 3 of us included. And so Ian belonged to our friend Sean. He went 7th overall, Ian Terry did, in this draft, but he's evicted the first member of the jury on day 44.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Did he go too high? Jeff, did he go too high in this draft?
Yeah, but that's in the draft here. I mean, Tyler should have gone higher for sure, and so should have Christmas probably in Memphis. Those 3 players should not have gone 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Enzo went 11th.
Yeah. So there, those 4 players are kind of in the wrong spots. Danny, I could see why she fell, and Nicole fell, and Davon fell. I understand those players.
Jane said that she stands by her pick, 4th overall, David Alexander. He mark her words. He will win this game.
He might go far. It's crazy.
He might finish 3rd.
He will win, she says. So,
well, I don't know about that, Jane.
Sean also has Tyler, so he was going to lose Ian or Tyler tonight, no matter what. So that's interesting. Daryl, as he mentioned, doesn't like his picks in Memphis and Christmas, but he has them, and they're looking good. Jaemeel, Kevin, and Enzo for you.
Meow, still there.
And I have Davon. The chances of Davon winning this game, I don't know what odds Vegas would give me, but I don't think I would like them. And then
we should all put 20. Everyone left in should put $20 down.
We should, yes. Jane has David and Danielle, and then Jeff, you still have Cody and Franzel, although they're not as simpatico as they have been maybe in the 6 other weeks or 5 other weeks before this. So, and that's how it's going in that draft. So just to kind of eulogize Ian Terry as he's gone out. Do we have any spoilers yet?
No, I'm still waiting, man. I want the deets.
Meow meow.
Meow meow.
Meow.
Oh man, I would love. Well, I wouldn't love meow winning. Really, honestly.
What was I going to say, guys? Okay. Do you think, based on what happened tonight with the Julie interview, that there's a chance of a buyback?
A chance at a buyback.
She didn't tell Ian that about the committee. She let Tyler do it. Every other person's coming out of the house. Did you know there's a 6-person alliance that has Memphis and Danny and Nicole? Like every other person, she's done that, except this time she just was like.
This time they did it in the goodbye messages.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's the game. That's the players doing it. But
she didn't reveal it to Ian. The DR or those goodbyes did.
That's my whole point. Every other player that's come out of the house, she's shown like who's in the 6, and she's.
Well, I think that's how they're trying to justify that this isn't the most exciting season, because we have a methodical alliance that nobody knows about, and they're selling us that every time. Everyone comes out and goes, "Oh, they're the alliance." Oh,
it's not even like people can guess it. It's like, oh, I think something's going on. Like some of these people are completely in the dark, so they kind of have to like. Oh, that's the reason why I never could get any traction. Like these people don't even know there's a big, huge alliance.
Or even Ian said when Tyler said it to him, it said in the goodbye message, he goes, "I knew it" or whatever. And Kaser kind of said the same thing. But the point I'm trying to make is Julie did not say it to Ian. She was talking about like, you played 8 years ago with Dan and blah 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 blah, and she was just like asking him general questions. Whereas every other player that's come out of that house, Julie has specifically asked them, those people, about like alliances and who's with who and do you feel betrayed and all this kind of stuff. Whereas like this time it seemed a little bit more generalized. So I was wondering if there's a buyback. I thought she was going to say that there's a buyback to him.
There was a long pause.
Yeah,
where
that
he was kinda
long
waiting to
pause.
see-
I'm like,
but she was kind of waiting for him to almost ask. I don't know what the heck was going on, but it was awkward. It wasn't unnecessary.
she
with
didn't want to
this being-
screw up like she did with Kaser.
With this being a COVID season, like with the whole COVID thing going on, there was no way they were ever doing a buyback. I think if you come out of that house, you're not going back in, and that's just that. Like we won't see that.
Yeah, I think I think if they do a buyback, it'll be a reset rather than a buyback.
There's no way. Like if Christmas had broken her foot this time and she had to go out for surgery, she's not coming back in. No way.
No, I agree with that. She'd be going to a hospital. But if you're just going to a jury house and they could test you,
I think that there would be too much
brutal
liability.
If they had if Davon won and they had a rewind week, oh my gosh, that would just kill people. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
That'd
I
be
don't think we're
brutal.
going to see that likely. Like if they do it, it would only be like maybe at final 5 or something. I don't know.
They'll never do that late. They'll never do it that late. But
Yeah,
they
so-
could do it at 8 or 7 or something like that.
We have we still have like what 6 weeks to go. There's going to be a double eviction in
Well, it's not
4
next week.
weeks.
It's not next
It's not
week.
next week. It's not the week after, and it's not the week after that. It's the week after that.
What
So
do you mean? How do you know that?
it's that's just what they're predicting here on the Big Brother Wiki.
It would
So-
have to be like when is sweeps?
I don't know.
Because they would do it around sweeps, I guess.
I don't get why they don't do the doubles as much anymore. They don't do them as much. And I don't get it. The doubles are always the best episodes.
No. I have a new question though. They announced this new twist tonight with the BB neighbor. The BB neighbor is going to come in. What's that about?
It's Glenn. It's Glenn.
It's Glenn. He's the neighbor.
Glenn is a neighbor.
It's Glenn, Cliff, Hogg, and Steve. Summer of Steve, 2018. Those 3 guys are going to show up,
And they're just going to be on the balcony.
Going to be hanging out.
Who was in quarantine and couldn't get on the show?
Josh.
Well,
Josh.
Besides Josh, because Josh.
And let's go.
Let's go, Casey.
Casey's the BB neighbor.
Who would I want? It would probably be Mr. Spectacular. Where is he?
See, and I don't even think they like. How likely are they going to have like a guest come in to do something here? or
Yeah,
like a
that's
guest host?
true. And what
It's
about
not
Zingbot?
Zingbot. It wouldn't be Zingbot.
Is Zingbot going to make an appearance? He might.
I
have
think we
COVID.
might get Zingbot,
Yeah,
but maybe.
later
But
on,
I don't
but
think
not-
you're going to see like a Kathy Griffin come in here or anything like that.
Oh, please no. That was horrible.
What else she has to do?
Yeah, well, I don't think they were going to ask her in maybe this year. But even if they were, I don't think that would be a good idea. I don't think that they're going to put any more people around though, like any of this, unless they have to. They don't
they'll
want to
be
lose the whole
distance.
season.
They'll be distance. So
Are they going to do OTEV?
OTEV
Not
is
yet.
just
That's
just a
for the
voice
veto.
over.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they're not going to do
OTEV?
When's the neighbor supposed to move in?
I don't know. And who's the neighbor? What does it mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
It could be Zingbot, and he just yells at them from social distance. And
Would it be great if the Zingbot just moved into the house?
That would be great. And it was a player and had his face on the memory wall.
it's
Yeah.
Eric Stein.
She's like, hey, maybe that.
Hey,
that
you want
maybe-
to start an alliance Zingbot? And then he just like zings them, and then they just go, I don't know what to do with this. The Zingbot's holding onto the wall. This would be amazing.
Zingbot wins HOH and gets to put up Cody and Tyler.
And I think we got it. I don't know. We may not have the spoilers yet, but let's just talk about this HOH and what it could mean. So there's basically 3 people who fell on the other side of this vote tonight. who are now looking very vulnerable. Those being Devon, Kevin, and who was the third? David. Right? They already were, but they will now feel vulnerable, very specifically because this is shown, and lines in the sand have been drawn. So if one of those three wins the HOH, let's just talk about what that looks like, because I think that if it's anybody but those three, it's very bad. They're likely two of those three are going up, and then the third is the replacement. Likely, that will just be the narrative. That's what that's the playbook of this style of game, which this committee is playing. So if it's Kevin being the HOH, what will he do?
Oh, Kevin. He'll probably put up Kevin, Memphis, and Cody. That'd be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that would be a good move. Okay, so let's. It's not nothing. It's not like him. There, like I think Cody would say, like, no, you should put up like Devon and David.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and he would try to bully. That's what what Cody and all of his minions will try to do. Right, like they will always try to get the people who, if somebody who's not in their alliance wins, they will always try to get them to turn on the other people.
That might blow the alliance up at this point. It might, because then all of a sudden everybody's going to be looking out for numero uno, especially people like Nicole Franzel. And if I'm doing the HOH, I'm one of the three people that you're talking about. I would be like, I don't know who I'm putting up. I would just mess with their minds the whole week. But I would I'd be like telling Nicole, I'm thinking about Cody and Memphis. Cody and Memphis come up. I'm thinking about Nicole and Tyler, and then I would just constantly piss them off and just get their minds going and get them to turn on each other. That's how you don't make it easy for them whatsoever.
Like you out of the three of them, they have to win HOH, because it's gonna most likely take 3 shots to get the person that you on the other side to get voted out. Because let's say you put up Tyler and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
If someone outside the alliance wins HOH, that's not with veto, then one of them are coming down, and then you have to put a replacement knob, and then Christmas could use her power to remove the remaining of Cody and Tyler who didn't get off from the veto, pull them off the block, and then you're left with Memphis and Danny, or Memphis and Enzo, right? And Cody and Tyler are still there, right? So it's gonna take. I don't know. Like, you'd need that veto. You would need that veto to guarantee.
Even this is a best case
block.
scenario. Best case scenario, if these three who are now the underdogs and are naturally the people I'm going to root for as a result of it, because that's how I watch Big Brother. If it's Devon, I think we're safe to say that she would make a good move, or she would at least, if it's Cody Tyler or something that's a very obvious, like these people are not in my alliance.
They're not going to play the safe. Yeah, stick with the committee style that you were worried about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Dave. That's not happening. The line in the sand has been drawn very clearly, especially on this vote tonight where you saw it was 5-3. That tells you everything you need to know if you're Devon, Kevin, and David. That's literally everything you need to know is in the votes. So if they don't win the HOH, then yeah, one of them's going home. But we have 3 chances here, guys, of one of those 3 people winning the HOH, because it's going to take 3 times to get them out. So if one of them wins, we have a chance. We have a chance at a blow up, and that's what I want.
What if it's David?
He has a chance. Oh no, like
Danny and Kevin.
David's
put
with
Kevin and Day up.
Yeah. David, put up Kevin and Day.
He might not put up Tyler. I think David would keep Tyler. Okay, he's not going to put him up, but he'll put up Memphis because he put him up, right? And
they had a moment tonight though in the hallway though. Did you see that when they were voting and they exchanged?
Yeah,
and there was
they did a basketball thing or something.
Yeah, there was that. Like I think they're friends.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Memphis isn't anybody's friend in that house either. By the way, like Memphis is just like this guy. He seems like the supervillain of the season to me. Like when he goes into the DR and he casts his vote to evict. I'm just like, this guy is
leaning in.
He's like leaning right into the camera, and he's
like, "Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie." Like, I'm just like, who the fuck? Like,
Julie.
Yeah. Hey, Julie. You know, if I could vote to evict David, I would because he sucks. But I'll vote to evict Ian because revenge for Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Does Dane know that Christmas has a power?
I don't think anybody knows.
I think if Trump was a
No, I
Big
think
Brother
someone
player,
does know.
I think it would be Memphis. That's who sort of is like the swagger sort of Memphis, which is kind of a bullshit swagger. But, yeah, not impressed. Like, okay, and then all right, so that's the only thing that happens if Enzo wins HOH, which I think is also a high chance, even though he's not committee. He is their loyal guy. He's waiting for his chance to get in. Right, he's just on the outsides. He's like, once Danny or Nicole go, I'll be in. I think he might be aware that he's not as close.
He's more in than Danny and Nicole, Dave. Like Enzo is way more.
But he's not. But not at Christmas.
Yeah, but fuck Christmas. Like the whole committee is based on what Christmas thinks is going on. That's the entire thing. When Danny was talking about the committee tonight, right? She was like talking about it almost like it was a corporation. You know, like, we can't go against Walmart. Walmart will destroy us in legal battles. You know, like that. Like that's how kind of like I took it anyway. I don't know about you guys.
Yes. Like this big nameless, faceless entity is going to come after us. It's like, no, it's the dudes right in the next room. We could take them out. They can't do nothing to us. We're in power this week, right? And that's the thought process they might have to have. Like, but I don't think they have that instinct to like pull the trigger until it's too late, and both of them are going to be gone. So, like, they need to jump ship, in my opinion. They need to jump ship. They need to win power and then jump ship.
I'm just trying to see if there's any feed updates yet, but I'm not seeing anything.
I think they're going to wait until it's after it's over, or it's already over, and they just don't want to.
Yeah, they're going to cut it. They're not going to. Yeah.
No, I don't know if I'm gonna get it. So, yeah, all right. Sorry, I don't mean to leave dead air going, but we were just trying to see if we could get any kind of sense of if we're gonna get an HOH tonight, because I think it's really interesting. Well, basically, it's not that interesting. Basically, it's like if these three win it, it's this. If these how many other people are left?
Is 9?
It's 10 right now, isn't it?
There's 10 people left.
There was 5 votes.
Yeah,
Sorry, 5 plus.
Yeah, there's 10 left. Yeah,
5 plus 3. Yeah,
10 left.
So there's so 6 are gone. So we're not even halfway through the votes.
Yeah. And let's look the 6 people that are gone. Okay, it's Keisha, Janelle, Nicole, Anthony, Bailey, Kaser, and now Ian. I mean, that's
an enjoyable half a cast.
It's some of the bigger personalities. It's also, I don't know.
A lot of the rootable people, with the exception of Bailey, I would say most of them are really rootable.
I think Bailey's rootable.
No, she's not. Not me. I was happy when she went home. I mean,
she's like rooting for like, I don't know, a certain type of wrestler. I don't know exactly who, but it's somebody who straddles the line between heel and babyface. I don't know. That's more Bailey.
She's Roman Reigns.
Yeah, she's got Roman. No, I don't know if she might be Roman Reigns.
Where there's like a she's supposed to be a good guy, but a lot of people hate her.
Yeah, maybe like Bret Hart. Like, you know, sometimes they got that duality. Like babyface.
She's not good enough to be Bret Hart.
No, I'm reaching.
Just here, just go like this the entire time. Although that would be more Nicole, wouldn't it? Just going like this, cock that.
Well, Nicole's an actress, right? Like Nicole is a.
Did you see after she voted, before she went back from the DR, she like fixed her face so that like in the mirror.
Yeah, she was like,
I'm like, come on.
Because she thought like, okay, I'm about to go on camera here, but she already was. So
no, it wasn't that. She was about to go back in front of the house guests. Like, I think that was why she did it.
I'm like, come on.
Oh, but she knew that she was last to vote, that so there would be like a lingering shot on her there. She's like, and earlier when I looked in the mirror, I just couldn't believe I voted out Ian. Oh.
I love that she had to be put in that position, though. I mean, it was fun to watch because
she got the tiebreaker vote. She
Yep,
she has to be the backstabber, but Ian doesn't care.
but she doesn't know he doesn't care.
Well, I think we'll see. Like if Ian kind of stews on it a little bit, and like he's gonna be in that house for a week by himself, kind of just rethinking exactly how things played out. Who knows how?
What do you
He
get to
said-
do in that house for a week by yourself?
Yahtzee, single player Yahtzee.
Do they not give you any TV to watch? Like you know,
No.
like
No, you watch the competitions.
right.
I think you see you don't see the eviction, but you see the competitions, and then you're just there in the house eating some leisure activities. I think
No
some
video
book-
games.
probably some books. There should be some video games because, like, you're not gonna get spoilers off of like playing Fall Guys or something.
Yeah, or Star Trek Online.
Right, but if they just give you like like Netflix, how are you gonna get spoilers off Netflix? You know,
Sure. Or you have to watch CBS All Access except the Big Brother's content.
I would like to know more about that. Yeah, what do you get to do in that jury house, especially if you're there for a week by yourself? Because often what they do is the jury starts right after a double eviction, so that there's two people there relatively quickly. But that's not the case this time. So
It's gonna be 2 weeks.
yeah.
But
And
hey, if you're gonna stretch out this season as long as possible, no need for double eviction.
here's the question: let's say it is the committee side plus Enzo that wins HOH. Who will be joining Ian next week?
Me. um,
who will join Ian next week?
Kevin.
Yeah, if it's the
Davon's the number one target right now.
okay, so it will be
Oh, you
Davon.
think Devon's number one target? I think they're going after Kevin.
Oh yeah, they're the most worried about her. I think for sure.
So Davon
not
will be
worried
the
about
one that she'll be the target if they have power. If
Yeah.
it's the other side, then who will be joining Ian? Like if Davon, Kevin, and David are somehow able to take a crack here or get somebody out, who is it?
I think it's probably Memphis that goes home.
That's who they're going to get out. They're going to get Memphis out.
I think they're going to try to get Cody out, but Cody's going to win veto, or somebody will win veto like Enzo and take Cody off the block.
And Christmas will do it.
Mary thinks it will be Day. Daryl's thinking it will be David.
The big threat, David.
And Mary thinks it will be Cody that will if it's the Davon side that wins.
Cody will be the number one target, but he has too many allies, and if they win that veto, they're going to try to save him, I think.
Not even that. Like, if it doesn't matter who he goes against, who is voting to get him evicted?
Right.
When a good portion of the committee is committed to him.
Right. They're more committed to him than Memphis, or maybe like
That's what you'd have to put
beside
Tyler.
Cody to make sure Cody goes home.
Tyler.
Who do you put? Yeah, you think it's Tyler?
That's the only person.
Why?
Yeah.
Because Christmas would vote to evict Cody over Tyler.
Well, you would get that vote. Then you'd have the two other votes from your alliance, and so you have 3, and it'll be 3-4. Oh, so you'd still, yeah, you it's going to be a hard upward climb for that vote. Because it'd be 3-4, right? Because it would be Dave. Let's say Dave was HOH, and it doesn't even matter who it was, Tyler and Cody and Tyler. So then you'd have David and Kevin voting for to evict Cody. You'd have was it Enzo voting to keep Cody and vote out Tyler. Christmas would vote to evict Tyler. Would she vote to evict Cody? No, she would vote to evict Tyler. I don't think you have enough votes. I just don't think it. Maybe Danny and Nicole feel differently about how they were in the alliance, and but I don't know.
Will will the committee make final six?
Part of the committee.
Or will the final six be exactly those 6 people?
No, I don't believe it. I do not
No.
believe it.
No, Enzo will be in the final 6, guys. He's definitely Enzo. Nobody's going after Enzo. So the committee's a bullshit alliance. It has been the whole season. You saw it tonight. Like Cody doesn't care about Ian. I guess he's not in the committee, but Nicole wanted Ian. All these people have these adjacent alliances. There's too many alliances going on, and nobody's really solidly with anybody other than it seems like Cody just gets his way every single week. He gets his way. So the only week he didn't was the week. No, he got his way every single week. I guess he didn't really care if Nicole Anthony went home, probably, but
Yeah.
That was about it.
Do you think that there was a disservice to
David sucks. He will never win HOH. Jane disagrees, Daryl. She's a big
Jane
David supporter.
Jane doesn't know what she's talking about.
Jane, don't tell Jane she doesn't know. She'll come in here and tell you she knows.
I want her to come in here and tell me that David is going to win the season because why?
I might be able to persuade her to come say something.
What will you do if he does win? Because you're pretty adamant that he has no chance, so you should be bold enough to.
I want him to win. I want him to win bad.
I'll see if I can get her to come in here and talk about that.
Oh, okay, that's great. Do you think I have a question to you?
That was my whole point, Jaemeel, was to get Jane on here.
Do you think that Julie did them a disservice by not stating that there is not a battle back? Because if it was informed, maybe they would have took a shot at Tyler.
You mean the whole house, not Ian?
Just if she if they said last week there is no battle back. Oh, trouble's coming for you.
Can we gotta break out the Stone Cold Steve Austin music?
Hold on, give me a second. I can probably do that.
I got it.
You literally have it.
Jane's gonna come in here and say here.
Hello, I still believe in David.
Can you hear Jane?
Yes, I believe that you do believe in David. And I'm saying that if Jeff feels that strongly that David has no chance, especially Daryl too, then I think they should put up and there should be a little bet.
I'm willing to bet that David will win this season. I'll bet that for sure. Throw $20 on it.
$20? All right. Well, okay. So what's the thing? Like, how far does David have to get to? Or he has to win.
Say goodbye to David.
Daryl's asking, are you here to say goodbye to David, Jane?
No.
David won't be in the final two. David won't be in the final two. I'll give you that bet.
Okay, final two, because someone might bring him along.
Win. Do you think he'll win?
I think he could definitely win if he starts winning competitions, which we've seen people do in the past, and their whole game can change.
He's going to be a late bloomer.
I think even Ian was like that, wasn't he? That he was like, wait, and then he started winning competitions. They're like, oh, he's great.
Right, he might be playing the Ian game. He's a sleeper game. You guys have no idea how good David is.
Yeah, he's got potential. I see it.
He was bred for this.
$20 for final two.
He's untapped potential, Jaemeel. He's like Pascal Siakam. He's only been playing basketball since he was 14. That's the David is that.
Daryl says he'll take that bet. David sucks and he won't win anything, says Daryl.
Well, I don't know if I'm in for $40.
Look, I'll cover the 20. I'll cover the other 20. I'll cover the other 20. I won't take any of the money. I just want to see these two don't win.
All
right, so it's on.
All right, it's on.
Jane, you just expect $40 in your pocket in a couple weeks.
All right.
Gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. I feel it. I still feel it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Jane doesn't. She hasn't lost faith in David, and because she hasn't, neither have I. I have reinvigorated.
All right.
So-
Do we have the live feeds?
No, we don't know.
Mary,
We don't know
Not
yet,
yet.
right?
Mary
I don't think we
watching?
have the answer.
No.
No, there's no
Hmm.
official news coming yet.
Okay. All right.
All right, but we appreciate you coming in here to defend
All
David.
right,
This
all
has been
right.
great. Here, I'm gonna just turn my camera off so Jane can
I'll get out.
Jane came out of the shower for this interview. So
All right. Have fun.
She showered for this.
Yes.
she was showered for this. So yes.
So wait, did they not advertise the live feeds tonight? Like
They-
they like watch
Yes.
the HOA
that was
on
something
live
that they were
feed.
pushing.
So like,
always do it. Yeah, it's like a hit and miss thing.
come on, guys, come on, come on,
Come on.
come on. Well, it looks like we're not gonna get it until later. We're gonna go off the air and then it's gonna go back on. I hate.
And we'll reveal it on the Star Trek podcast, and everyone's like, "What are you talking about? We don't watch Big Brother."
Okay, well, you know what that means, people watching Big Brother. You should stay on a little bit later tonight and watch our Star Trek Lower Decks recap so you can hear the Big Brother spoilers.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah,
What
part
I was
2
saying.
of this podcast will be on another channel that has nothing to do with Big Brother, but it has the same people that are here now, talking just about a different show.
There might
So
be a costume change. I might change my
that's a
outfit.
segue. That's a segue. We were hoping to get to spoilers. Mary just wants to let us know. She thinks that David will have to win something.
Well, yeah, he will have to. Well, will he ultimately do it? Not looking good.
I can go.
I hope he does. Believe me, I'm pulling for him.
He's adapting. He's got a whole. He's a late bloomer. I think we're gonna see a lot of David. Don't worry. Okay, so Daryl's like, David will suck on the other channel too. Well, he's what can you say about David? Like, we've said it all. David. What's his last name? David Alexander could be the next big thing. We don't know what his fate will be in this game yet. Okay, so I think we have to sign off for tonight. We're running out of time because we do have to watch and podcast about the next show. But that's been week 6 here in Big Brother, and we're heading into week 7. So we will definitely know who the HOH is for that podcast. If you're not going to head over to Live Long and Podcast later tonight to check out what we're going to say there. And we'll be back again next week. Jaemeel, are you aware if it's going to be Wednesday and Thursday next week like it normally is, or if there's a Tuesday
I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday and Thursday because the reason why it wasn't yesterday was because of the AMAs, I believe, or the CMAs, I believe. So they should be going back to their regular schedule until the week of October 4, when Big Brother will be moving from Sundays to Mondays. And then it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday will be their new schedule.
Okay. I'm with you. All right. So, okay, we'll be back again Wednesday and Thursday next week here. And what's Mary saying? I was just pissed the way that they were pissed about the way they were talking about Dave on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too nice in there right now. It's tough, but hey, we're hopefully there's something exciting to talk about Sunday. So that's all we can look for towards hope and optimism for the future. So, and then we also have our other channel, Trivial Debates, where we're going to have our monthly debate show where we talk about movie, sports, TV, and more. Fighting in our first ever teams match, where we're going to have me and Jeff versus Jaemeel and Chris versus Jody and Kevin, with Kevin's wife Ashley judging. Don't think that will give them an advantage at all, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. And of course, as mentioned, we have our Star Trek podcast, which is Live Long and Podcast, where we cover on Thursday nights it's Lower Decks, which is where we have to head to next. We also do Star Trek Radio Theater, where we have our Star Trek episode reenactments, and tomorrow night we have our first episode with Mott, who is going to be playing the role of Dr. McCoy in the city on the edge of forever. Daryl knows Mott. And we got Michael Chan as James T. Kirk, Kevin Millard as Spock, myself as Edith Keeler. I'm still working on the accent. And then we got Jessica Chan playing Scotty and a whole bunch of red shirts and other characters. And Jeff's playing the Guardian of Forever. as well as a homeless man, Sulu, and Ashley will be narrating the story and playing the part of Uhura and a couple other characters as well. So yeah, so that's gonna be tomorrow night, and then Tuesday nights we do Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and then Wednesday nights the original series. And we're just into the second season of Deep Space Nine, and we do random episodes on original series, which includes we're doing something called the Return of the Archons or something next week. I don't even know this one. So
Return of the Archers. Bakula coming back?
no, not the Archers. The
Oh.
the Archons. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway,
Nobody wants that Archer to come back.
no. It was. I didn't mean to stir up the. I didn't mean to start something here about Archer. It was never about him. So anyway, that's been it for tonight here on Super Mario Brothers Podcasting, and we hope to see you soon.